All right. It's been a while. I've just been quite busy during this fall season, as we'll get into in a little bit. But to make up for it, we'll probably do a little back-to-back type of video release. We'll see how this goes. But yeah. So September, we had actually a couple free days off from work for some reason. And as a result, I'm like, that would be fun to take another trip to Tokyo, see some stuff I didn't get to see last time I was there, with like a couple extra days on top. And after mentioning my plans to my folks, they decided, hey, we'll treat you. Here's some of our Hilton points so you can get a decent room over there. It's like, neat. It was a bit further away from the main city, but I think that was just fine. I had the choice of a couple places. I could have stayed at the one that was right next to Tokyo Disney, but I don't think I'm quite the target demographic for that particular place. A lot of people like going to Disney. This one's very much, from what I understand, much more catered to younger people, much younger. Kids, it's for kids. Though I hear Disney Sea is actually pretty good. But anyway, thanks to them, I was able to stay for 2 nights in Tokyo, which was pretty fun. Very exhausting. Very expensive. We'll get into that. So, one quick thing to note is with my workplace, while there's a lot of perks, mostly in proximity and comfort of living and teaching style, they don't cover medical. So I pretty much have to pay all my own insurance, like 6 months out of the year. And it just so happened that I was getting charged again right before this vacation. So already a big hit to my spending abilities. And then there's of course the fact that Tokyo in general is just an expensive place. It's the largest, well, I should say it's the most populated city in the world, mostly from tourism and various other businesses and things. There's a lot of people there, and they try to make the most of that by making everything a bit pricey. Not as pricey as places in the States can be for those major cities, but still. But let's go over what went down during that trip. Once I arrived, like right in the early afternoon at the Hilton Hotel, I dropped off my stuff, save for like a small bag for carrying around some stuff, and I decided to spend the rest of the day exploring Akihabara, the big old nerd city, well, nerdy area of the city. You know what I mean. If you're big into various fandoms of Japan, you're aware of Akihabara. So yeah, that's where I first went. That's pretty much where I spent the whole rest of the day. Now, I mostly spent it just kind of visiting some stores that I didn't really get a whole lot of time to spend at last trip, because I visited there like right at the end of the day where everything was starting to close up. But the first major place I visited was the Warhammer Cafe, which I visited last time, but I got to spend a little more time there. Chatted up the manager, who took a while to remember who I am, because, again, gets a lot of different people coming in and out of there, but he eventually recognized me, which was nice. He was also nice enough to kind of point me to a couple areas to check for some potentially out-of-print Warhammer-related products. Before I went there, I also picked up like a protein drink of sorts. That's just the flavoring name of the cafe stuff. Is they had a bunch of themed drinks, but it was a caramel latte type of drink. But no, it's good. I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but I do like some caramel. But yeah, that was a fun place. I got to take a look at a lot of little painting competition entries and prize things and all that stuff. Picked up some exclusive Tokyo Warhammer merch, and then I was off. Yeah. After that, I was kind of scouring around to see if I could find any other cheaper Warhammer stores, because You know, they're not really going to have a big discount at the main place. But, you know, I took a trip around to a bunch of different places. Unfortunately, most were not much better in prices, or just virtually the same, or they didn't have the things I was looking for. I did find this little sort of way out in the outskirts of the city store. I think it was called Arrows, Archers, something like that. I'll post a pic if I can remember. But that place actually got featured in a couple of videos later. But it is a nice little sort of wargaming type of place, mostly dedicated to Warhammer. They had tables and mats and all that jazz, a bunch of their own painted figures, and a lot of stuff that could not find anywhere else. It was all pretty much still retail price, so, you know, still cheaper than state prices. So I shouldn't complain. I did get to pick up some stuff for myself. But no, that was all cool. And then at the end of the night, I went off to the Eorzea Cafe, which I only just remembered. Oh yeah, they have a Final Fantasy XIV cafe around here, which that was fun. I got to book it without needing to do so heavily in advance. I just remember, it's like, oh yeah, that exists. And I went to see if I could book it, and I booked it same night. I could have booked it within the hour if I wanted, but I wanted to explore a little and then finish off with that. I'm glad I did, because when I got there, I had way too much food. There was like tacos, there was meat buns, there was all these extra little desserts and things like that. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. Bit cold for some things. People might not like a cold taco, but I didn't mind. It was all pretty good. And a lot of drinks based on the different classes and various other things. I spent enough to get like a little acrylic stand of one of the more recent characters. But no, the place was very nice. You could very much tell it was like a converted izakaya type of place with all the little like pipes and tubes up in the ceiling, but they dressed it up very nice. Would I go again? Probably. Though I might go to like the Osaka one just to see how different that is. I really do kind of want to check out Osaka at some point. Still have not, but we'll save that for another time. But that was more or less the end of the first day, and already a lot. Second day was a bit interesting. There was also a lot of exploring, but I kicked it off with a big noticeable place that I feel a lot of people should visit at least once. Because the Hilton I was at was in Odaiba, which for a number of fandoms is actually pretty nice. But I had to get to a particular place within a certain amount of time limit, and I had to take a bus and then kind of book it. But as soon as I was like cresting over the horizon, I could see it, which is to say it was the Unicorn Gundam statue. Big old giant mobile suit statue, which once it hit 11 a.m., this.
Unicorn Gundam! 行きます!
So that was cool. And then I explored the building behind it, which had a lot of different pop-ups or special stores. They had a lot of Godzilla stuff inside, which was really cool. And Crayon Shinchan Shin Godzilla, which was funny to me. But at the very top was like the Gundam base, which had like the largest Gundam collection. Had dioramas, history, little displays, and stuff you could buy. Like, of course, you could buy like mugs, Gunpla kits, a bunch of other cool things. I think I realized a little late that I don't think I was supposed to take pictures and video and stuff like that, so I'll try to minimize that if possible. We'll see how well I do that. But yeah, one of the other places I wanted to visit was the Mega Pokemon Center, which I failed to do in my last trip because, well, you needed to buy a ticket because it was a weekend and a holiday. Well, it wasn't a weekend, it was a holiday though, so they needed to limit it to like tickets to get in. It's a normal thing for Pokemon centers of great popularity. But seeing as that was just a normal weekday for everyone but me, that wasn't the case. Instead, something else happened. So when I went there on, I believe it was a Tuesday, I was entering the place. I'm like, it's quite dark in this building. Is it a little early for opening things up or something? And then as I proceeded further, I was like, something's off, as all the stores were still closed down on the inside. And it was about the time that I got to the level where all the different Pokemon related shops and stores were that I realized the whole building is pretty much shut down. And I looked up the information about the building and it said, oh yeah, on this particular day, it's closed for maintenance. So, like some sort of cruel joke, I couldn't go then. So I had to find something else to spend my time with, so I decided to explore a few more shops, checked out the Animate store, which is like the big manga and anime book related place. Got a few neat little items there. Then I went to Nakano Broadway, which is like a very old-fashioned looking shopping center where it's like a bunch of these little blocks of stores with little specialty items and whatnot. There's so many mandrakes, however you want to pronounce it for like different things. And I found a lot of cool stuff there, but it's all expensive because it's a lot of collector's items usually. Like this 1 million yen Astro Boy. Oh my gosh. And that wasn't even the most expensive thing I saw, because past that was like a big old giant, like 7-foot tall robot inside. I don't know how they got it in there or how you would get it out. That was like 1.5 million. I forgot to take a picture because I think I was stun locked from that. But yeah, that's pretty much how the second day went. Not a whole lot, it feels like, because there's a lot of exploring around and kind of making up for lost time on certain travels. Got to have TGI Friday though, that was pretty nice. But on the final day, I had to check out early so I could get back on time. So I decided that, well, I have to wheel this suitcase around, but let's try for the Sunshine Building again. And lo and behold, once I got there, it was open! And I got to go to the Mega Center. Yay! And I did pick up a few things, which was nice. I also went to the cafe there. I was very tempted to get one of the little cafe plushes, but I was already spending way too much on things for myself and for family and all that jazz. So yeah, I had a good time there, and then after that I just went home and pretty much collapsed. But I ended up spending a lot to the point where I had to bust out a credit card, which looks like I charged quite a bit too much. It's all paid back. I paid that all back, so it's all good now. But, yeesh. But after that, not a lot happened afterwards in September. Kind of just normal work-related things. Nothing too spectacular. But that's probably for the best. I think I would have been just completely wiped if I did anything else too crazy after that. So, yeah, that's... the very start of the month was pretty much the main highlight of the month. But, no, that's completely fine with me. But, yeah, no, it was a good time. I don't know when the next time I would visit Tokyo is. Maybe if certain things in life change, we'll see. If anything, the next major city that isn't close by that would probably visit would be Osaka, because I still have never been. And a lot of people keep saying it's great or better than Tokyo even. But we'll see. But yeah, I'll save any sort of little small things around here for the next one for now. Yeah, that's it. We'll call it here for now. But stay tuned for a October update, which is also going to be late. But yeah, bye.